Be tuned to much music and enter today.
Is David a good student?
Oh, yes, he is. One of my
Really?
best.
Give us a little sample of your style with him.
Oh, okay.
I've never done anything before.
Okay.
Never in your whole life, and we'll move 14 feet. I saw the
No, not that.
I'm walking along a street, and a man who's about 7 or 8 foot tall is approaching me, and I don't think he's going to ask me for an autograph. What do I do when he...
Okay, the first thing you know that he's coming at, you already picked that up, okay, the insight. So
I know that.
From here, man, the first thing, that the advantage that you have on your side is that he's coming at you.
Yes.
That's the first thing. So you're using all of whatever he's coming with against him. So if I were coming at you and I would choke you like so...
I'd scream very loud first.
So choke. Just choke.
I'm choke.
Right from here. So the first thing you want to do is distract his mind from what he's doing here. You wouldn't fight him or try to break nothing or try to pull him loose or even try to block.
Yes.
All you have to do is from it distract his mind, hit him here in his groin, and that way... You know, kick him on his shit. Anything to distract his mind to release this.
Yes.
Anything to release this. So once you make your block, so once you know you haven't made the block. So once you hit him here, his mind's going to hit here, then you will make your block. And then from here, you can come from here, hit the thumbs into the eyes, the knee into the groin, and then down to the head, and elbow break. Hey, fabulous. Like so.
You've been interviewed millions of times. If you were me, what question would you ask yourself?
What do you carry around in your luggage on tour?
And what would you answer?
I have no idea. I haven't been able to get to the bottom of my suitcase in weeks.
Take another call. Hello, another call. Are you there?
Hello?
Hello. Who's
Hi. This is Kathy from Capistrano Beach.
Capistrano, finally, an international call. No, it isn't.
Well,
is it?
halfway between LA and San Diego.
It is, yeah, it's California, right?
Yes.
Oh, no.
And I saw you, I think it was 30 years ago, the original Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars.
God, I was
tour.
only like 15 then. That's amazing. You must have been, what, 2?
I think I was about 15. But don't tell anybody.
No, I won't tell a soul. Your secret is safe with us, isn't it? Yes, Kathy.
I would love to hear Ziggy Stardust. Commemorate that event.
Okay, Kathy. Let's see if we can exhume him.
Thanks so much.
Ziggy, are you in there? It's just absolutely fantastic. It's just, there's, you know, as a writer, though, and I guess that's what you draw on, there's a second part of my life, you know, there's an inner thing. There's like a sense of mystery that I'll never be able to fully confront. You know, there's a need to escape from certain things, you know. There's, look, I'm drawing him in like crazy. I have no idea where I'm going. Yeah, I'm very happy, yeah.
Now that you're 50, mate, looking good though. And kept
Feeling better.
Isn't he looking good? And you haven't gone bald, it's so annoying. I wish you had all right. Because it wouldn't have worked, would it? The bald white Duke would have been a disaster, wouldn't it? The fat white Duke playing Las Vegas.
They saw the milk.
Oh, so you're pressing on
Your accent, your voice, your method of speech has not changed. You've been away for 2 years.
Yeah.
Does that mean you've been locked away somewhere?
Yes, I don't talk to anybody.
But do people talk to you?
I've heard it rumoured, yes.
Why do rock stars tend to have premonitions of doom? It seems to be a theme in their work and in their life.
Because they're pretty nutty to be doing it in the first place, isn't it?
You know what it is?
Yeah.
When I arrived here, I got to the airport, and the first thing that happened is that there were 3 or 4 press people, I think, behind me in the line, who were saying, have you seen David Bowie yet? And I said, yeah, you can't miss him. He's just over there. He's got a green raincoat on and bright red hair.
Yeah.
And so they turned to me and said, is that David Bowie? And I said, yeah, I think that's him. And they went off, and the poor guy got hassled for a bit.
I saw him first in 1963, I think it was.
and I think it might have been at the Brixton Odeon. I don't know, somebody remember the tour. Everybody remembers everything these days. And the Rolling Stones were opening up for him. It's the first time I ever saw him. And they weren't really very well known. There's about 6 kids rushed to the front, you know. That was their fan base at the time. Everybody was there for Little Richard. I think Bo Diddley was on the show and all that. And it was priceless. I'd never seen anything so rebellious in my life. Some guy yells out, "Get your hair cut!" And Mick says, and I'll never forget these words, "What, and look like you?" I thought, oh my God, this is the future of music. And sure enough. Here's the new video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. No, that was mean of me, wasn't it? It was very short shrift. I'll turn the chair around, get it more interesting looking. Is this how Ray would do it? Write and tell me in 10 words or less if this is how Ray would do it, and if not, how.
One of the best shows I've ever seen was in 1995. It was in San Francisco in California, and it was yourself and Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, that was a really
just
good show.
such an amazing show, especially the way you guys sort of crossed over to you did Hurt and.
Well, that was a real, that was a weird one for me because I was very flattered and really knocked out that Trent was quite a fan of a lot of my earlier stuff pre-Let's Dance. And we got on really well, and he said, come out and do this thing with me and all that. And it was really hard for me. The first 3 or 4 gigs, and they were all on the East Coast here, were just a nightmare for me because I didn't understand what we were doing. It all felt different for me. I'd never done anything like that. I'd never gone out with another artist like that before, It was really weird. And his audience wasn't particularly taken with me. And they were like... and I was like... And it took me the entire tour through till, well, I don't know, maybe by the time we got to Chicago, and I found my balance, and then it was great. The whole rest of that tour was fabulous, and I really loved it. Funnily enough, one of the worst gigs was in New Jersey, and it was awful. But we went there.
What went wrong in Jersey?
What went wrong? I turned up.
I thought it might have been Trent throwing things.
It was like, because it was like there was only Trent on the wings going.
Right.
I look back and I'm going, thanks a lot.
Dragging me out to this.
So now you came back to Europe on the QE2. Yes?
Well, not here, because there's no river. But, but if I could have, I would have. But you travel on the QE2,
yes,
yeah?
But the other direction, from Southampton to New York, and you came from New York to Southampton.
That's right, yeah. They're 2 different captains. Yes. One only knows how to get to Southampton. I think that's true.
What was the average age on the QE2 this time?
114.
Yes.
Something like that. Mainly widows.
Really?
No, it's changed a lot. Because I first went 30 years ago. Yeah. And in those days, it really was older people, older generation, all that. This time around, I noticed there was a lot more families with children, because these days they have like things like playrooms on board. There were 5 restaurants, 3 cinemas, casinos, public library, and television studio.
What did you do on board the whole day?
I read and watched DVDs.
Did you walk around?
No, I swam alongside for exercise, I used to keep up, because I'm very fit these days,
Yes, absolutely.
Because I swim against the QE2, that's how you...
Have we changed much as a nation? I mean, when you were in Sydney, because you used to have a flat in Sydney, did you suss out the old suburb?
Just off kind of Elizabeth Bay area, and opposite the marina there. And I had it for years and years, but I only used it maybe 3 times properly when I came over for a few weeks at a time. And took a car and drove around an awful lot. And I just wasn't using it enough, so I sold it brilliantly just before the property boom.
That's what you want?
Yeah, it was 1991-ish, something around that. Let it go for a song. I can't remember which song it was at the moment. One of the 30 albums that I sold. Yeah. I don't know how many times someone has come up to me and said, "Hey, let's dance." I hate dancing. God, it's stupid.
Bowie.
Here we see some remnants left over by the Lake Picabia, close friend of Marcel Duchamp. This was a piece ready-made that he created in 1942, I think it was, after he and
Duchamp had fallen out. They fell out over this piece of lino, which Duchamp, in fact, signed. You see his signature just under here. Duchamp, and exhibited, along with his bicycle wheel and his toilet seat, urinal. Marvellous, David, marvellous. Pretty good, isn't it? Over here. What have we got over here? Okay. I'm standing in front now of the famous, the city of Granada, as painted by El Greco. The original, actually, this part was done by Goya. This is all Goya here. This is Greco, El Greco. And I think the sky, isn't that, what's that? Raphael? Was it Raphael? Dulux. I think it's Velázquez that did the top part. Yeah. This is David Bowie for Countdown. We shall be talking very shortly, in a matter of hours, days or weeks, about the 17th century and Pachelbel's influence on 1970s gardening. And here's Pachelbel's garden. It's not really, it's Kew Gardens. And we'll be talking about music, actually, in the 70s. So I suppose I've got to be in it.
Actually, he's got a wicked sense of humour. And he's not got much hair. Unlike me, I've got a full head of hair.
Do you know what? You've got a mane on you, boy.
Ah, full head of hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of people were talking about it when he came in. Look at his
Yeah.
hair, look at his hair, look at his hair.
Yeah, look at his hair.
You recently celebrated...
Is there any grey in it? I heard that gossip.
No, I can tell you now there's none. And that was... Baby Ben asked that question.
This is all grey.
What, the stubble goes
Yeah,
grey?
that's why I don't grow this anymore, because it's all grey. It's like Santa grey, you know, Santa...
Do you know I get a bit of ginger in mine? Just kidding. You recently...
Tell you something about this. We've had some real fantastic sartorial moments recently, in fact, over the last couple of days. And we have a rabbit that follows us around on tour. It's a big pink bunny, and it is always at the front. And I thought it was just a real big bunny, you know, I thought, well, it's rock and roll, you know, it's just a 5'3" bunny thing. And then we got the plane out one night from one, and the bunny was on the plane. It's still in the costume. I kid you not.
I've never met you before, but you're high as a cat's whiskers right now.
It just happens. It's just one of those things, you know. It's maybe there's a lot of anguish and anxiety in the air and antennae, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're going to play one of the
Martians.
Martians? Did you say Martians?
No,
David?
no. That wasn't me.
There is one of the rockin' tracks on the album. Are you going to tell us a little bit about that? What are you going to play now?
I've got no idea.
I believe it's Slip Away. Is it Slip Away?
Oh, if you want to do that,
yes.
Sure, yeah, I'd love to do that.
No. It's Slow Burn. I had the slip
We'll do that
and slow.
as well, yeah, whatever.
Okay, David, would you play Slow Burn for me?
We'll do anything that begins with S.
There you go. Right. Slow Burn, David Bowie, live by request.
It's waiting
Come in.
outside the studio. Come in.
We're not doing anything important.
Just an interview.
I thought you'd never stop blowing that horn.
Another glass of milk.
Oh, that's what... You forgot your car keys.
Another glass of milk.
Now, for someone... You've been quoted as saying, David, that for someone who's not really a very good musician, you've made a lot of rumpus, a lot of noise.
Yeah.
If you don't think you're a good musician, what are you looking for at this moment? What are you searching for?
Got it.
Liquid.
Treetop apple juice.
Is it good? Would you spit some across the satellite?
No.
Good.
Then we deal with, do you mind talking about your sexuality?
Sorry, why?
Because what was the deal there? You were gay for a while, and then you were not gay.
I was just happy.
But were you bisexual? Were you pansexual? Were you trisexual? Because I thought being gay was a bit like the Foreign Legion. Once you joined, I didn't think you were allowed back.
I was just very, you know, I just got my leg over a lot.
Did you have relationships with these people as well, or was it mainly...
Not if I could help it. I was incredibly promiscuous.
I bet you were.
And I think we'll leave it at that.
No, we can't, because... But this is great stuff, David.
No, it might be for you, son.
But everyone wants to know. You must have had a great time.
Why would I go into that when I can make a fortune by writing a book about it? Why should I give it to you for free?
All right, well let me ask you this then, David. We'll get to booking it. I've never yet tried...
Don't even think about it.
I've never tried the man love, OK? I haven't tried the man on man, the man in man, the man with man. I haven't tried it. I was tempted recently when David Beckham scored that penalty goal. Suddenly, I felt a stirring. Should I give it a try? Father.
It's such a serious and a life-challenging and changing question. The answer that I have for you would probably create such turmoil in your soul.
You know what? It probably would.
I'm not sure that you could actually withstand it or, in fact, last the rest of the show. So I'm afraid I have to politely and reluctantly not answer that question.
Thank you. I thank you for your concern, and I respect you for that.
Can you recommend a good book to your fans? A good book?
What, this week? Apart from yours?
Oh, do I have a book out?
Yeah. Oh, no, I walked into that.
No, I wasn't.
I want to ask you about something back in the days of yesteryear, and people may forget this. You were the first white performer on Soul Train. Now, that doesn't seem like a big deal now, but that was a huge deal when it happened. What was that like?
I was so stoned out of my mind. I know it was a lot of fun. But there again, everything was a lot of fun. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Good answer. Can we take another call?
I'd love to take another call, yeah.
Kevin and George from Houston, Texas. You're on with David Bowie.
Hi, David.
Hi, Kevin and George.
Hi, I'm down here with my 5-year-old son.
Ah, lovely.
And
is that George,
he's been
your
a fan
son?
of yours already for 2 years. Doesn't play anything but your music constantly. Just loves it. And he'd like to make a request.
Wow, okay. Hi,
right,
George.
Put him on the phone here. Come on, George.
George.
Hi, David Bowie.
Hi, George.
Can you play Ashes to Ashes for me?
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Thank you.
George.
What?
Oh, never mind. I'll call you later.
You have a daughter. How old? She's 22.
22 months now, yeah. And she saw the moon. We've got a kind of a terrace thing, and we were out the other day, and it was still light, but you could see like that half moon thing. And she looked up and saw it. And it's the first time she's seen the moon, that it's registered.
Right.
Moon!
Oh, that's a
moon! Moon! And she started crying. Then she started laughing, and then she dragged me into her room, and we had to get all the books that have got a moon in them.
Right.
And then take them outside and hold them up to the sky. Moon, moon.
It's great when they're discovering things like that for the first time. It's scary when they're like 28 and they're going, moon! That's where it gets. That's when it's time.
There were a lot of kids like that in the 70s.
In the 70s, yeah.
Everyone I
knew. On behalf of RCA Records, Countdown and the Australian Record Buying Public. No, listen, thanks, mate.
Thanks very much.
You've got to come down.
I was so young.